The Knightstown versus Tri football game. Crowd of about 4,000. Eric's senior year homecoming night. Hope you enjoy the broadcast.
Practice getting it to them this year. So you got all the ingredients of a good football team, and we've got a good football team. We're still, we rebuilt from last year with a lot of new positions, and we got off to a good start, but we have to continue to grow, and we're hoping we do that.
What about the Titans as a whole? Is everybody healthy tonight?
Oh, yeah, everybody's healthy. It's just we want to see, it's going to take 4 quarters. We don't want a bunch of emotion early, because sometimes you can kind of poop out a little bit, and they got to play 4 quarters against Knightstown.
All right, Coach, we'll let you get back to business. Thanks for talking with us.
Thank you.
Coach, that's Dennis Gipe from the Tri-High Titans. Let's take a 1-minute timeout. We'll come back with Coach Don Willard of the Knightstown Panthers next on Young Country 90.7 FM.
For one of the big games of the season at the Knightstown Panther Field, and I'm with Coach Don Willard as Knightstown gets ready to host the Tri-High Titans. Big game tonight, Coach?
Yeah, it's a big game. All of them are big, but for some reason, when you read the paper and all the hype and everything, this one seems to be just a little bit biggerly.
Well, what are we looking for tonight from this Knightstown Panther bunch?
Well, I hope we're looking for continued improvement and continued good play that we've gotten out of the defense and offense. I think the last 2 or 3 weeks, our offense has really picked up, and, we're just really excited about that and hope we can maintain that and then keep up the defensive intensity that we've had for the whole season, really.
Well, the town has really gotten behind this Panther outfit this week, and I'm really glad for that, because I think we're going to have a ton of fans out here tonight, and we've already had a lot of activities going on.
A lot of activities this week. It's been a really fun week, and kids, I think, have reacted pretty well to them, and, we had a great pep session last night with the community involved, a bonfire, and today had some activities in the afternoon out here, and it's just really been a good week. The kids have really appreciated it, and I just look forward to a real good night here tonight.
Well, getting down to business here, what do the radio fans need to look for from this Tri-High Titan bunch?
Well, Tri's 5-1. They were beaten last week for the first time by Hagerstown, and they're going to come back with a vengeance. I think we're probably the best medicine for them. It was great. The schedule fits them perfect, I think, after coming off a loss, because they don't have any trouble getting up for us, and I'm sure they'll be ready to play. And we're just going to have to come out and play our game and not worry about them so much as we do about ourselves.
Offensively, who are their big guns this year?
Well, they got another Thompson at quarterbacks throwing the ball pretty well. They've got the Carpenter kid, who's the leading rusher in the area right now, I think, and Beaver at tailback. So they've got some good kids. They got big linemen. My God, they got 290-pound lineman and a 265-pound lineman and a 365-pound center. So it's going to be a big job for us. We're going to have a tough time.
What are you going to tell these guys the last words before you leave that dressing room to come back out on the field?
I'm going to tell them the same thing I tell them every Friday, Lee. I'm going to tell them 3 things. Number 1, to play hard. Number 2, to have fun. And number 3, to play every play like it's your last play, because you never know what can happen. And that's what I tell them every week, and that's what I'm going to tell them again tonight.
Well, so far this year, and I'm sure you're going to continue to do it, you've really given us some terrific fun times here with this Knightstown Panther bunch, and continued success to you, and good luck this evening.
Okay, thanks, Lee.
Well, that was Coach Don Willard, and he's taking the aspect of this game just like he has all of them. This Knightstown coaching staff and the players are playing each game one game at a time. They're not looking in the past to what they've done. They're not looking to who's the next opponent. They're just looking at the Friday night that they're in and the activities that they've got to do to make it a game.
Well, I may differ with you just a little bit there, my broadcasting friend. I was kindly reminded by some of our great fans here who's got some headsets on that we talked about what Knightstown players did last year by going over and kind of stoking the fire. And let it not be forgotten. And these players have not forgotten what the Tri-High team did after the ball game. After the one-sided victory that the Tri-High team came away with 39-12 last season, Tri came over here and either put some weed killer or lit a fire or something right out at the 50-yard line in the shape of what looks like a T for Tri. And you can bet these Knightstown Panthers have not forgotten. And we were just marveling at the amount of people out on the field, this has to be the biggest crowd that I have seen to welcome the 1997 Knightstown Panthers this season and possibly in seasons past.
Well, there is a real host of fans out here, and as I said before, a lot of them have had kids that have been out of school quite a few years. They've come out to see this great team play this evening, and win, lose, or draw, this Knightstown Panther football team has played nothing more than a gentlemanly game as far as the football goes, and it's just been outstanding. A lot of fun this year.
I couldn't agree more. Looks like Knightstown is finally breaking the locker room and coming back out onto the football field. Tri has not left, and they are standing around waiting for Knightstown, and I think this could have been a little bit of the waiting game. Coach Don Willard making Tri wait just a little bit, and now Knightstown will come down that long chute of people after the PA announcer does his thing, and here comes the leading mascot carrying the KHS flag. And don't forget, sports fans, if you're not here, we'll try to bring it to you little by little, but we are set for some excitement, and we need to keep our eyes to the sky. Is that not right, Lee?
Well, that's absolutely right. I've been joking and teasing. I work for Gray Auto Brokers and Brad Gray, but Brad really got behind this Panther football team this year, as he has a lot of different community sponsored events, and tonight we've affectionately called it Gray Auto Broker Night here. We've got a parachutist coming in. That's why we've been saying look to the skies, along with a lot of 32-ounce drink bottles that we've given away tonight, plus the footballs that we threw into the stands.
Right, and I didn't get one, by the way.
Oh, I know you got one.
Well, I mean on the throw.
Okay.
You hand-delivered one, and for that I am appreciative.
Well, you said if I didn't bring you one, I couldn't do this
That's
anymore.
correct.
I had to bring one, and I did.
You learned well.
That's right.
Well, while Knightstown is being introduced to this huge Knightstown Panther crowd, again, the crowd continuing to swell. Looking down, there is not a seat available in the stands, and this crowd has bells and clankers and quackers and everything else, and there has to be 2,500 to 3,000 people here.
There was almost that many out on the field to make the tunnel. It was amazing that those guys had to run about twice as far as they've normally had to run.
Well, while we are waiting for the parachutists to deliver the game ball, let's run down other games around the area tonight. Newcastle will go for their first win against a very tough opponent, that being the Richmond Red Devils. Also, Hagerstown will travel to Centerville, and Cambridge City will go to Union City.
That's right, and also we have Frankton at Eastern Hancock and Tri-County at Shenandoah. So a big evening of football all around this area. Which I think the biggest games right here.
Oh, without a doubt. People have been calling this game the game of the year in this neck of the woods since the beginning of football. After they saw how good Knightstown was going to be, and when Tri finally went 2-0 or whatever, people started talking about this game. Now, albeit it was not the players themselves, but the fans.
Yeah.
I have not yet heard one of the Knightstown players talk about Tri-High early in the season. I just didn't hear it. Even when you tried to prod it and tried to get it out of them, you couldn't hear it, and they wouldn't talk about it.
Well, that's absolutely right. There was no talk of what we're going to do to try high or what we're waiting to do. It was just one game at a time, play football and play it hard. And I know that gets redundant, but these kids have just worked exceptionally hard. As Coach Willard alluded to early on this year, they spent on their own weeks in the weight room, and I don't mean days, I mean weeks and months in there. They spent 30 to 32 weeks this year lifting weights and getting ready for this season.
It has shown in the stamina and the strength. Knightstown has just exploded off the football, both offensively and defensively, and they are blowing everybody off the line of scrimmage. And as we await the parachutists, some of the people are starting to point up. I think I see the plane. The drop plane is right overhead, so according to schedule, he should be out of the plane by now and headed toward the ground, so we will wait his arrival. Well, with the game ball now, who's getting the game ball tonight, do you know?
What the deal is on this, the ball that's coming down is not the actual game ball. This is a ball that they're raffling off tonight that has all of the coaches and players' names of this Knightstown football team on it. And when they land this evening, why, Justin and Rachel Gray are going to go out with the Panther. That's Brad's children, and they're going to go out and get that ball and bring it back to the sidelines for the Knightstown people.
So that's what the tickets are being sold in the stands for.
That's right. That's why Mr. Patton was out working so diligently for, was to get those tickets to those people.
Athletic Director Don Patton selling tickets right and left, and he is covered up. In fact, we've lost him in this sea of people. as I can't even see him anymore. But I am just absolutely overwhelmed at this crowd that has turned out. And it looks like possibly some of the Knightstown players have gone and air-conditioned that little head, I'd say. It looks like skin aroma.
They've done a little shaving, I guess, for this one. I see a couple down there that you can just see the skin on, and now I see quite a few of the people looking up, and the parachutist must be on his way down. Looks like he's coming down from the east to the west side, and Don Willard down there talking with the officials, and I know he's excited to get this game underway. And they had so many preliminaries going on this evening that it may run just a little long here, because he was supposed to exit the plane at 7:20 and land at 7:25, but I guess he got out a little later.
Well, we'll wait for his arrival because he is on his way. But the problem is these people, they're starting to look up, and they can't figure out where he's coming from. As you said, there is a gentleman down on the field with a parachutist, and here he comes. He's coming in on the east side, and he is here. He has hit it midfield, and it was a perfect landing.
All right.
Excellent. Excellent. Standing ovation by the crowd. What a great entrance. He must have come in at 100 miles an hour.
Boy, he was moving on when he came across that field that time.
Yowzer!
Well, I think they waited on him because they just saw a good friend of mine, David Livingston, show up. He just got here, so I'm sure that he must have radioed up and told him to hold it up. He wasn't in the stands yet.
Well, I thought he was telling us that he was going to jump, but he got out of work late or something. Maybe that's not the case.
Well, I don't think he would be doing any jumping.
Do you know, and you may or may not know this, but I had his lovely daughter, Carrie, in my very first class. She was the very first one to help build the radio station, and unfortunately she never got to go on it, and I feel bad for that, but what a great girl.
Well, I'll tell you what, David's got 3 kids, and they're all 3 great kids, and he's got them scattered all the way from Cary all the way down, and they're a great bunch of kids.
Well, I'd say we are just about 2 minutes away from football action as both captains and co-captains will meet at midfield for the coin toss. If you've listened to Knightstown Panther football over the past few years, you know that Coach Don Willard generally will elect to kick off to start the game, and that's exactly what will happen tonight as Knightstown won the coin toss and will elect to kick. So that means that possibly, and I'm not even going to say it, I'm not even going to bring it up because I don't want to have any kind of a jinx thrown back up here, so we'll just leave it at that. Knightstown will kick, Try High will receive, and now the parachutist gets a standing ovation and a very well-deserved round of applause as he was flying coming in.
He was moving on when he came across that field.
He hit at about the 40 and took about 15 steps, and it looked like he was water skiing, and he slid from the 25 down to about the 10. And I wish I could walk that well.
Man, you talk about exhilarating. Now, that's got to be when you do that.
That's a rush.
Well,
No
again,
doubt.
before we get started, a big thank you to Brad and Gray from Gray Auto Brokers for the sponsorship of everything that he's done here this evening. And also a big thank you to all of the fans, the booster clubs, and all of the other clubs that put on everything early this week so these kids could get fired up for not only this game but for homecoming this week.
Well, it is football action, and we are just about set to kick this thing off and light the candle under what has to be one of the most exciting football games of the 1997 season. Knightstown will kick, as always, and to do the honors will be Kyle Rhodes, back to receive for the Tri-High Titans. Number 36, Brent Carpenter, along with number 24, Justin Cox, and also on the left side, John Hitton. He'll wear number 46 tonight.
Well, you know, as we were talking, Kyle Rhodes has had an exceptional year, and we saw it coming not only from him but the rest of his senior cohorts. As the lettermen have returned, there comes Kyle. Boom, it's a squibbler into the front line, and it looks like it's recovered by the Knightstown Panthers. So immediately out of the box, Knightstown will take over the football on their 44.5-yard, 45-yard line, something like that.
Well, hang on a minute. We've got an official
We've
down.
got an
It looks
official down.
He may have injured a leg, and it looked like he got into the row of tacklers. And now they're going to help him up. It looks like he may walk it off a little bit, but he is a little bit gimpy.
Oh, he's got to be. Boy, that guy was down now.
Whether by design or not, Knightstown gets the squibbler. Rhodes hit it high. It went the necessary 10 yards, and Knightstown will recover. And as Lee said, they will take over on their own 43.5-yard line with the first break and the first possession for the night.
Another great kick by Kyle Rhodes. I know a lot of times this year Kyle's pulled that off, and it hasn't gotten a break for the Knightstown Panthers. It's been picked up by somebody on the line, but Kyle got it this evening. So Eric Scheinman now getting everything ready to go for his Knightstown Panthers as we get this official back underway there, and he was flat on his back out on the field, folks. That man took a hit and hard, and
took one right in the mouth.
Beside of the normal padding he's got, that's all he had down there. So we are in the power I formation as Scheinman starts the call of the signals for the first series. It goes to the second man through, Ryan Johnson. And Ryan is hit immediately at the line for what looked like maybe a gain of a yard and a half. So Ryan Johnson, first man through, second man through going over the right side, is hit by Adam Hollers for the Tri-High Titans and picked up 1 yard on the play. So Knightstown starting off well here, 11:34 as the clock counts down, and they are already in the Tri-High Titan territory. Again, going to the power I, Scheinman calling the signals. The defense set for Tri-High, going to the second man through again, and immediately he is tackled for a loss this time by Thad Wright. Thad Wright coming through hard on that Knightstown line and picking Ryan Johnson off for a loss of 2 yards on that play. Very, very nice play there by Thad Wright coming through immediately.
Wright fired off the football and was into the backfield almost at the same time that Johnson got the handoff. Knightstown very, very fortunate that Wright didn't get his hand on the football at all.
That's absolutely right. He was there almost the same time Johnson was, as Knightstown now ready to play again. The ball at about the 44.5 as the snap is made. Back comes Scheinman looking to pass, throwing out into the left flat. Out here good on the reception is the Craig Ritchie for the Knightstown Panthers, and Craig is taken down at about the 34-yard line, looks like, maybe just short of a first down. So we have a fourth and, let's call it a yard maybe or less that Knightstown is facing here with 10:20 left to play in this first quarter, and I'm sure the Knightstown Panthers are going to go for it.
Coach Don Willard fired up, and without a doubt the play is in. And Knightstown's going to go for this fourth and less than one. Excellent pass from Scheinman to Ritchie.
Yes, it was. Scheinman just pinpointing right on to Ritchie. Got Ritchie a little in the air. He might have been able to pick up the first down had he gotten to stay on the ground, but he had to go up to get it. Scheinman calling the signals again. There's the snap. First man through. We have a fumble, and let's see what happens. Looks like maybe Tri-High may have recovered the football. The first man through on that, Drew Crawford, did not get the ball tucked away and came out, and Tri-High taking over the football on the 34-yard line of Tri-High.
Crawford never had the football. Scheinman didn't get it into the bread box, and Crawford fumbled it, tried to pick it back up, and had it and wrestled with it. But Tri's going to get the ball on their own 34.
So now Clint Thompson, the quarterback for the Tri-High Titans, will bring his unit up and see what type of an offense they can run against this Knightstown team, as they too look like coming out of an eye. Thompson taking the ball, going around the left side, and is hit immediately at the line of scrimmage by the Knightstown Panther team. Kyle Rhodes in with Joe Quiz on the stop, immediately bringing down the carrier Thompson, as he does pick up what looks like to be about 2 yards on the play. So the ball now at the 36-yard line of the of the Tri-High Titans, with 9:24 left to play here in this first quarter. We now have an official's timeout, looks like, on the field. Yes, as with 9:22 left to play, the Knightstown team unable to pick up that first down that they needed, and lost on the fumble of the football, and took over as Thompson throws out into the flat area. And it is a reception made at the 45-yard line by Brandon Boyd of the Tri-High Titans. So Thompson, showing the ability that he has to throw that football, picks up the first down for Tri-High, as the ball is now at the 44-yard line of Tri-High.
That's what we've been worried about, is the press coverage or pass coverage by the Knightstown Panthers, and I've always felt that the quarterback's just a little bit susceptible.
Thompson again getting set, working out of the power I as he goes set under the center. The snap going to a handoff to the second man through on a crossbuck play. Brent Carpenter on the carry for the Tri-High Titans, picks up about 5 yards on the play, and the ball will be spotted at about the 49.5-yard line. Ben Brooks, the tackler for the Knightstown Panthers out there, but not until the ball is advanced into Knightstown territory. 8:22 left to play. We've got a second and fourth situation here for the Tri-High Titans as the snap is made. Handoff to the second man through, and he is caught and thrown back. Initially in on that hit for Knightstown was Drew Crawford, number
32. Ball carrier was John Hinton, and he took a hitting.
Drew Crawford, the first man in to make the hit, and then Kyle Rhodes and 2 or 3 other of the Knightstown Panthers snapped him up as he started to make a roll away from Drew Crawford and try to advance the ball. So here with a 3rd and 4 situation. With the ball at the 49.5-yard line of Knightstown. Thompson rolling out to his left, makes a pitch out, and we have a fumble on the ball, and Knightstown recovers the football. Great play and pursuit by the Knightstown Panthers.
Landon Collop was the one that caused that fumble. Excellent pursuit, and Tri never got on track, as did Knightstown in its first possession. Chris Hartgrove was the intended ball carrier, and Collop disrupted. Knightstown gets the turnover at about the 39-yard line.
Ben Brooks picking up that football after Collop juggled it loose on the scurry around there to get into position to make the grab on that quarterback. So the Knightstown Panthers, under the direction of Eric Scheinman, coming up with 7:31 left to play in this first quarter, have a 1st and 10 situation at their own 30, or at the Tri-High Titan 39.5. The snap was made. Scheinman hands off to the second man through on the over the left side play, and it is Ryan Johnson on the carry for the Knightstown Panthers. Ryan looks like picks up about 5.5 yards on that particular play. The ball is going to be spotted at the 33.5-yard line. Excuse me, Ian Hayes on the carry of the football. I'm sorry, Ian Hayes on the carry of the football that time.
Got 7 yards on the carry that time.
6:58 left to play here, as Knightstown starting to advance the football now a little bit and settling down, I think, from those first play jitters. Ryan Johnson on the carry of the football is stopped almost immediately at the line of scrimmage. He was grabbed from behind, broke that tackle, and they ran into 3 of the Tri-High Titans, who stopped him cold in his tracks. Brian Clemens in on the stop along with Chad Beaver for Tri-High, as Knightstown having a tough time advancing this football against Tri-High. But I think the conditioning of both of these teams is excellent, as Coach Dennis Gipe never brings a team into a season without them being into shape, and Coach Don Willard has the fine football team this year in shape, and so this should be a real head knocker all evening if it plays true to oil. Eric Scheinman on the snap, hands off to the first man through, Drew Crawford, who picks up the first down for the Knightstown Panthers. So Knightstown picking up the first down at approximately the 26.5, 27-yard line of Tri-High as they start to march the ball. Brian Clemens again on the stop for the Tri-High Titans. This young man's been in on a lot of tackles this evening as the clock winds down to 6:05 left to play in this first quarter. No score either way. 1st and 10 for Knightstown at the 32.5-yard line. 27.5-yard line, as Eric Scheinman starts to call the signals. We have 2 down backs and 1 floater back, as going through on Ian Hayes on the carry of the football, and thanks to one of the Tri-High tacklers, knocks Ian ahead for a pickup of about 5 yards that time. Ian was almost stopped in his tracks, and from behind came one of the Tri-High defenders and hit his 2 defenders plus Ian and drove him forward a little bit.
Ian Hayes has carried the ball twice so far in the ballgame for 12 yards. He's the leading rusher for the Knightstown Panthers. Johnson has carried 3 times for no yards after a 2-yard loss to begin.
5:20 left to play in this first quarter, as the Knightstown Panthers starting to move the football 1 to 2 yards at a time, just as they did last week, until they really got on track and started getting it going. A pitch out into the flat to Ryan Johnson. As he turns the corner, we have a fumble on the play. The ball is picked up by the Tri-High Titans and advanced back to the 35-yard line of Tri-High. So the Tri-High Titans able to pick up a fumble and start a first down series from the Tri-High 35-yard line.
Well, it's going to be a biggie. Knightstown was able to keep the football for 2 minutes and 25 seconds before a fumble picked up again, and they'll start at their own 35. So Knightstown has coughed the ball up, and Tri is going to try to take advantage of it.
So with 5:02 left to play in this first quarter, no score either way. The Tri-High Titans at their own 35-yard line trying to advance the football now. Thompson back in the flat, throwing right, throwing long out into the flat, way overthrown of the intended receiver, John Hinton. John Hinton really was booking it down that sideline. Ian Hayes was right on his heels, but the ball was severely overthrown that time by the quarterback, Clint Thompson.
Well, if that left any doubt, can Thompson throw the football? It's been erased because that time he put it up and it was a bomb. He overthrew him by a good 6 or 7 yards. So Thompson's got the cannon, just hasn't had the accuracy as of yet. Brings up a 2nd and 10.
Threw that ball in the air about 40 yards as we've got 4:56 left to play in this first quarter. As Thompson, calling the signals low there, rolling out to the right, looking to pass, throwing out into the flat, makes a completion to the 44-yard line. So, with that, the completion is made to Brandon Boyd of the Tri-High Titans, and in on the stop for Knightstown, Ian Hayes. As we've said a few times this year, a possibility there of just playing off a little too far.
A little too
as
soft.
we have on receivers this year. Maybe we'll tighten up here a little bit and get it going.
They'll run that little button hook pattern to the outside, and Knightstown has a tendency, or at least the games that we've seen, of laying back and being just a little too soft on the receivers, and eventually against a good passing team, that's going to burn them.
The ball at the 44-yard line of the Tri-High Titans with 4:12 left to play in this first quarter. No score either way. As a 3rd and 1 situation faces those Titans now. The snap is made. Handoff going to the first man through. Brent Carpenter on the carry over the left side for the Tri-High Titans, but he picks up the first down.
Ben Brooks comes up a little bit gimpy that time. Looks like he's going to stay in. Might have taken a shot to the midsection, but he's not going to come out, so they'll move the chains. He gets enough for the first down, so Knightstown's going to have to stay on the field as far as defense, and now Brooks will come out.
So the Tri-High Titans with the ball at the 45-yard line of Tri-High, starting to make a little move here. Thompson back, looking to throw, throws out into the left flat. It is complete over on the left side to Dusty Phelps, and Dusty is knocked out of bounds by Ryan Johnson immediately upon catching the ball, but not until Clint Thompson, who is able to pinpoint that ball also, made a nice pass out into that flat area to Dusty Phelps.
Phelps is a great target, plays basketball for Tri, 6'4", 210 tight end, and thank goodness he's a senior.
So the ball is at the 45.5-yard line of Knightstown now with 3:55 left to play in this first quarter, as the Tri-High Titans are able in the throwing game right now to advance that football. And this young quarterback, at least got another year of eligibility to play in high school, is looking good for Tri-High. Nice fake by Thompson as he hands off to the first man through, and it looks like that they may have another first down for the Titans. Yes, there's a signal. So Tri-High picking up the first down. Brent Carpenter on the carry for Tri-High. Took it right to the left side of the line, and Jason Chapman was able to tackle him, but not until the first down was made. So the football now at the 44.5, almost 45-yard line of Knightstown, as Tri-High eating up a lot of time here with 3:35 left on the clock, and there's a whistle at the snap, and I'm sure it was a delay of game or it's a procedure penalty of some type against the Tri-High Titans.
Yeah, it looked like the end might have moved. Can't really tell, but I think it's going to be a motion penalty against Tri. Looked like he jumped ship just a little quick, and that's exactly what the call is. So Knightstown's going to get the penalty walked off against Tri. That'll back them up 5 more yards. So instead of a 1st and 10, brings up a 1st and 15.
3:33 left to play in this first quarter, as the ball is right at the 50-yard line. And really, even with the first down play and everything on going both ways this evening, that ball has not advanced very far one way or the other so far.
It's like a tug-of-war game right in the middle of the field.
Chad Thompson again ready to go, just picking up and throwing immediately over the left side to one of his split ends, but he is hit immediately. That split end out there was hit, and the ball was bobbled by him. Brian Clemens was the intended receiver on that pass.
Quarterback Clint Thompson had a wide open shot to the left side that time. Good defense by Knightstown. That's much, much better as far as pressuring the receivers. They were right on top, and he was hit exactly at the time the ball got there, and that's the way that they ought to play.
Well, a lot of times you hear those footsteps that first time. You don't ever forget them. There's the snap of the ball. Thompson rolling left, trying to make a play. Breaks the grasp of one of the tacklers. The ball thrown out into the flat area and is missed by Dusty Phelps. It was thrown behind Dusty and almost tackled in the backfield.
Ben Brooks was there. Brooks was there and had a hand around the leg, but couldn't bring him down. Thompson very elusive, as Ben Brooks again bursting into the backfield off the defensive line and we've seen that many, many times. That's why he's got 12 sacks or 12 solos on the season for the Knightstown Panthers. So on the incompletion brings up a 3rd and 15 with 3:08 to play in the first quarter.
The ball still at the 50-yard line. It has not moved an inch as these Knightstown Panthers starting to dig in now and don't want to let that happen. Thompson falling back, looking to pass out in the pass. The pass is complete to the 39-yard line, and it is complete to Brandon Boyd, who falls forward and takes that ball to the 37-yard line of the Knightstown Panthers.
He's going to be short by about 2.5, 3 yards, so brings up a 4th and 3. And now the first big decision for Coach Gipe, and the Tri-fans are hollering, go for it. We'll see exactly what Coach Gipe decides to do.
Clock is running down with 2:37 left to play here. 4th and 3rd situation facing these Tri-High Titans, and it looks like they may be going for it as the ball is at the 37.5-yard line. This is what high school football is all about. There's the snap, and he is brought down by a great Knightstown defense. John Hinton on the carry for the Tri-High Titans, but he is met at the line, and he is stood up by Kyle Rhodes, and also in on the help, Jason Chapman. But they stopped the advancement and the potential first down of the Tri-High Titans, so Knightstown taking over the football on their own 36.5-yard line.
Well, Knightstown's trademark rose to the occasion that time. The defense was there, and Knightstown not about to let Tri gain a measly 3 yards on a 4th and 3, so they'll take over, as you said, on the 36.5.
2:21 left to play here in this first quarter. No score either way, in a super football night and a super game as we probably thought was going to happen between these two. We've got Drew Crawford into motion. We have a pitch out into the back flat to Ryan Johnson, and he is hit for a loss at about the 29-yard line. So the defense of the Tri-High Titans, led that time by Brian Clemens in on the stop, really starting to get in and get to this Knightstown offensive unit. They are not able to run that ball against this Titan defense as they normally have against other teams, so there's going to have to be some head snapping in that coaching staff to see if we can get this thing turned around and start running it.
Well, he lost 7 yards, and that one never really materialized as Crawford went in motion to try to be the lead blocker, and somehow the defender got around him and dropped Johnson in the backfield.
1:42 left to play here in this first quarter as the ball is at the 30-yard line. Scheinman back to pass, never is able to get the ball off as he is hit low and dropped at the 30-yard line. He is hit by Corey Owens of the Tri-High Titans, and Eric Scheinman never saw him coming. He was looking up and over, and Owens came in low and snapped him up right now.
Well, that's going to be a huge loss. That's going to bring up a 3rd and about 25, and that's probably being very generous.
So this clock winding down now to 1:10 left to play and counting in this first quarter, again with that score 0-0. And Knightstown trying to get some advancement on the football so far against these Tri-High Titan defenders have not been able to do so as Scheinman comes up to the line, looks things over, and calls for a timeout.
And we will do the same. We'll take a 30-second break right here on Young Country 90.7 FM. What has been billed as one of the best high school football games of the year, and so far the defense has taken center stage as neither offense has been able to really advance the football, and Knightstown now facing a 3rd and 25, and Knightstown's coughed the ball up twice in the first quarter, one by Crawford and one by Johnson. They've also recovered the opening kickoff, plus they got a fumble back by Tri, but has not been able to capitalize on the scoring opportunity at all. So Knightstown with a 3rd and 25, and we are under a minute to play in the first quarter.
The ball is at approximately the 21-22-yard line of Knightstown as Scheinman has instructions from Coach Willard and the rest of the staff as they get ready to try to advance this ball. The snap is made. The handoff is made to the first man through, Drew Crawford, who is really picking up, laying him down, and finally gets the ball out to the 30-yard line. And Drew Crawford just literally running through people to get that ball advanced that far.
We only picked up 7 or 8 yards. Still going to be way short of the first down, so that's going to bring in the first punt of the night by Josh Plank. And going back to receive for Tri-High, number 80, Brandon Boyd.
Josh Plank getting ready to kick first on time of the evening. 20 seconds left to play, and the clock is counting in this first quarter as the Knightstown team is poised and awaits. There's the snap. The kick is up, and it is a nice kick over to the right side of the field and takes a very good Knightstown bounce and is still rolling and finally stops at the 34-yard line of Tri-High.
Nice kick by Josh Plank. Once again, being very, very fortunate to get that kick off. Tri had good pressure up the middle, and they almost got to it, but Plank able to get off and then get a good run, or a good roll, rather, down to about the 34. So that's where Tri will take over with 5 seconds left here in the first quarter.
So the Knightstown Panthers will be finishing up this quarter with the Titans trying to advance the football against them, and I would imagine we'll get one play off, and that'll be just about it to end this first quarter as Clint Thompson gets his troops ready to go. One wide out here to the right, Brandon Boyd, as the snap is made. Thompson over the right makes a fake, and then now throws to Boyd in the flat, and it is no good. Ian Hayes on the coverage that time for Knightstown, and very well, I might add, on the intended receiver. So, with that, the first quarter is over, 0-0 here at Knightstown High School.
Let's take a 1-minute timeout, and we'll come back for quarter number 2 on Young Country 90.7 FM.
That's the end of the first quarter. Flip over the tape for quarter number 2, and then we'll go to a complete new tape for quarters 3 and 4.
Do a little football defense here as the Tri-High Titans are going to be taking over the football at their 34-yard line. Clint Thompson talking to his backfield as they're setting the eye. Thompson out to the right, hands off to a quick back through, and the ball carrier that time, Brent Carpenter for the Tri-High Titans, and he is hit almost immediately at the line by
Chapman and Crawford.
Chapman and Crawford as he maybe advances the ball a half a yard or so, or just a little farther, maybe 2 yards there that time on that carry. As Thompson, very adept at making the fakes with that football and also in the passing area.
Tri's got some good size up front. Center, number 65, Zach Lumen, is 6'3", 367 pounds, and he is a sophomore.
Well, I know when Thompson goes set under him, I know that the line of Knightstown cannot see Thompson at all. Thompson making a fake, going back out into the flat, throwing, and the ball was completed, but it is going to be for a loss that time as Thompson was being pursued and pursued heavily by Ben Brooks and also out there by Jason Chapman for the Knightstown Panthers as they were running him over towards the sideline.
Well, he might have got back to the line of scrimmage, but now it's going to bring up a 4th and long for Tri. So back to receive the punt will be Ritchie and Hayes for Knightstown. Doing the kicking for Tri is number 24, Justin Cox.
10:47 left to play here as the clock counts down in this second quarter. Cox ready to receive the ball. The snap is made. He's up with the kick, and it is a nice kick coming down, looks like, to Craig Ritchie as he fakes right, goes left, now takes it straight up the center, and is finally brought down at the 43-yard line for a pickup of 5 yards on that carry for Craig Ritchie.
Excellent kick by Justin Cox as he got all of his leg into that one.
Yes, Justin Cox, very, very fine kick there by that Tri-High punter as he got that ball up high and was really giving his unit plenty of time to get down and get set underneath it.
Cox is 6'1", 160 pounds, and he got every bit of it into the football because that was a beauty.
The Knightstown team now breaking the huddle as they're coming up to this football, trying to advance it as they will play the football from their own 42-yard line. 10:31 left to play here in this second quarter as a long count by Shyman this time. The snap is made. Shyman falling back in, looking out into the right flat, throws long to Craig Ritchie, who catches the ball, turns to his left, and then falls forward for a nice pickup as the Panthers advance the football 15 yards into Tri-High territory. The ball will be spotted at about the 41-yard line of the Tri-High Titans.
Well, after a great pass, you see a penalty, and Knightstown's first on the night, so that's going to negate a very, very fine play between Shyman and Ritchie. Coach Don Willard takes his hat off in disgust, but they're going to mark this one off, and it's going to be a biggie.
So Knightstown not needing to get into this penalty situation. It's a holding call against the Panthers, and it's going to march that ball back to the 27-yard line of the Panthers. So a big loss this time as the clock is at 10:18 and counting as the score is 0-0 here at the Panther Field. And the Knightstown Panthers now facing a first and very, very long as they're going to try to advance this ball back up and obtain a first down. Shyman coming out into the right flat, makes the throw. He was hit early. Hayes on the reception, and a nice catch by Ian Hayes at the 40-yard line. 12 yards. 12-yard pass play out to Ian Hayes, and there were two receivers in the area. Ritchie was long, Hayes was a little short. The ball came right into Ian Hayes.
Boy, you got to give credit to Eric Scheinman. He stayed in the pocket that time, and he took a lick just as he let the football go, but he had enough on it as it made it to Hayes. Looked kind of a floater, a soft pass, but he got back a bunch of yardage. So Knightstown now facing a 2nd and 12.
9:28 left to play in this second quarter. 0-0's the score. Craig Ritchie coming wide right as we're working out of the power I. Crawford first man, Johnson second there as Scheinman calls the signals. The snap is made. Scheinman falling back, hands off to Ryan Johnson, second man through, who digs and possibly picks up about 3 yards for the Knightstown Panthers. Coming in on the stop for the Tri-High Titans, Michael Martin there grabbing Johnson and taking him down immediately once he got to him.
Well, Knightstown facing the down that Coach Willard doesn't like, 3rd and long. He said everybody knows chances are you're going to throw on a 3rd and long, and he doesn't like to be in that position, but that's exactly where Knightstown is. With 8:45 to play here in the second, we have no score.
And we have no score, and we have a 3rd and 8 situation facing these Panthers at the moment as Eric Scheinman getting ready for the snap. It's made. He looks out to the right for a pass. Now throws over to Craig Ritchie, who makes the reception, and a great catch by Craig Ritchie. Craig was telling us in his interview the other night he thought you had to have 2 feet down in high school football, and they found out one will do it. So he's really getting in there now on those hangnail catches.
That was a heck of a catch by Ritchie to concentrate to make sure the foot came down in bounds. It's good for 12 yards, so Eric Scheinman still putting the ball up and looking sharp. So far in the second quarter, he is 2 for 24 yards. 2 for 2, I should say.
8:29 left to play here in this second quarter as the ball is at the 45-yard line of Tri-High as the Knightstown Panthers now once more trying to advance this football and getting it done. Handoff made to the second man through, Ryan Johnson, who picks and slashes his way for a pickup of 4 yards for the Knightstown Panthers. Ryan Johnson, one of the few runners in the area that we have watched that is able to slash his way in the running category. Chad Beaver bringing him down after a fine, tough 4 yards picked up by Ryan Johnson.
Yeah, he kind of sidestepped and jitterbugged his way to the right and then went left and picked up 4 yards, and they were tough yards.
So Knightstown now has the ball at the 41-yard line of the Tri-High Titans as they are starting to make a move. Ian Hayes in motion to the left, a fake pitch out to the right, and the handoff to Drew Crawford, who takes the ball straight ahead for the Knightstown Panthers, picks up the first down, and the ball will be at the 28.5-yard line of the Tri-High Titans. Very, very fine play by Mr. Crawford, who has 12 yards
on that
particular play. So Eric Scheinman making a nice fake there on taking the entire Tri-High defense to the right, and then here came Drew Crawford over the left side. Scheinman now getting the team set, ready to play. Tri-High defense is set. Scheinman back, looking out into the flat. Throws long to Craig Ritchie, and the ball is overthrown, and we have pass interference, I believe, against the Tri-High Titans.
Yep, sure was. Craig Ritchie looked for it, and he's going to get the call down about the 5-yard line.
Craig Ritchie knew all the way that he was being interfered with. You could tell by the way he was looking back at the referee, just waiting to see the flag, because he knew it was coming. He had been shoved several times going down that right sideline, and instead of the defender looking for the football, was looking right at Ritchie.
Well, the guilty party is going to be number 24, Justin Cox. Cox basically bumped Ritchie all the way down the sidelines, and unfortunately for Cox, it was right in front of the official who is standing on the line or on the sidelines. So they will mark it off, and Knightstown's going to have excellent position and an automatic first down. So it's going to be 1st and 10, and they will bring it back at the line of scrimmage and then mark this one off. There's 5. Now we're up to 10, and they'll go another 5, so that's going to put the ball down about the 15-yard line for the Knightstown Panthers, the deepest penetration of the night.
So Knightstown here with 7:20 left to play in this second quarter has the chance now to, in this 1st and 10 situation, to really control this football and settle down and see if they can get it into the end zone against this tough Tri-High Titan defense. Eric Scheinman has everything set. The snap is made. The handoff is made to Ian Hayes. He bounces into the line, bounces off the line, and takes the ball down for a tremendous pickup for the Knightstown Panthers. Great run by Ian Hayes.
He got 12 yards, and he's down about the 2.5. Hayes very, very fleet-footed, again, picking his hole looked like the handoff went to Ryan Johnson, and the right side, actually the left side of Tri's defensive line went for it. So Tri will call a timeout as Knightstown threatens at the 7:13 mark. We will take a 30-second break. You're listening to Panther Football on Young Country 90.7 FM.
On a fine run by Ian Hayes, taking the ball down way deep into that Titan territory as the ball looks to be at about the 2.5, 3-yard line as Eric Scheinman calling the signals. The handoff is made to Ian Hayes, and he is eaten up immediately. And I mean eaten up by the Tri-High Titans, and we have flags everywhere. Brian Clemens, the defensive man who grabbed Ian Hayes immediately, and almost immediately after grabbing him, the flags went flying. So now we're trying to see what's going to happen here.
Personal foul, Knightstown. That's going to be a big one.
So Knightstown picking up exactly what they don't need here, the personal foul situation, which is going to march the ball back at 15 yards against them. And we have a 7:06 time remaining here in this second quarter. There's a no score either way. The ball now is going to be at the 20 of the Tri-High Titans.
Well, instead of being at the 2, Knightstown finds himself, as you said, back at the 20-yard line on a personal foul, and I don't know where it came from, but the official saw something that they didn't like. That's Knightstown's second penalty on the night. They've been penalized twice for 25 yards, and again, that's something that you can live with, but not when it's down at the 2-yard line.
The clock is at 6:48 and counting as Tri-High gets an infraction call in their favor against the Knightstown Panthers. Eric Scheinman on the snap of the football, falling back to pass, throws out into the right flat. It is complete to Craig Ritchie, who takes the ball down for a touchdown for the Knightstown Panthers. So Craig Ritchie doing what he has become very, very excellent in doing. He knew he had a defender on him. He caught that football anyway and caught it right on the sideline and then took it down right into the Titan defender for the touchdown. The first touchdown of the night. Coming at 6:32 left to play here in the second quarter on a pass play from Eric Scheinman to Craig Ritchie.
Craig Ritchie's been working on that jumping ability, obviously. He left at about the 3-yard line and went horizontal and dove in.
So Craig Ritchie making an excellent play here for the Panthers as the snap is made on the extra point. The kick is up, and it is good.
Yes, sir.
With 6:32 left to play here in the second quarter, Knightstown goes up 7-0 over the Tri-High Titans.
Well, I think this game has been pretty much everything that we expected it to be, and this overflow crowd is rowdy and fired up. And if you look on the other side, Tri has brought a lot of people. The stands have some vacancies in them, but they're lined up along the fence, and they are going down both sides of the football field. So Tri being supported very, very well, as are the Knightstown Panthers on Gray Auto Broker night.
It makes no difference what the season statistics are when these two guys show up to play each other. The fans come out strong to watch them play. And this year it's been a great rivalry. No problems happened so far this year, and everybody's just playing football, and it's just a great football night.
Knightstown looking very, very sharp on that drive, and once again we saw it coming together last week with Eric Scheinman, and he has continued his pinpoint passing as that time Craig Ritchie hauls one in from 20 yards out and dives and finally gets the first score. So Knightstown draws pay dirt first at the 6:32 mark. And now Josh Plank will tee it up, or actually check that. Kyle Rhodes will tee it up and kick it off.
Kyle Rhodes coming to that football now, hitting it, squibbing it through into the secondary as the Knightstown defenders come on and come headstrong and make a terrific hit on L.K. Knott at the 32-yard line of the Tri-High Titans. Andy Hamilton just flat ate Mr. Knott up out there.
Tied Knott in a knot, didn't he?
He took him down. It was a terrific defensive hit.
It's about time to get rowdy up here, Lee Dog.
Well, I know you were just chomping
Buddy,
at the bit.
I'm going to have to stand up now. I'm getting fired up.
We got 6:27 left to play in this second quarter, and the Knightstown Panthers up 7-0 as they are starting to play that Knightstown football we know that they're capable of. Thompson throwing out into the flat, making a nice pass out there to Dusty Phelps over at about the 40-yard line of the Tri-High Titans. He is run out of bounds over there by
Ian Hayes.
And also over that time, Drew Crawford was in the area. And
that's a mismatch.
And along with him was Tim Cunningham. So I believe that's Tim.
Ian Hayes.
Excuse me. Jim Carmichael.
Ian Hayes, 5'11", and Phelps at 6'3". And again, Knightstown giving way too much ground off these receivers.
Yeah, you can't back off of these guys this far, and especially somebody can throw that ball like Clint Thompson as he brings his troops up at the 40 now. Snap is made, and it looked like a handoff to the first man through. We have flags thrown, and they're thrown in toward the Tri-High Titan territory. So, with 6:19 left to play here, and Knightstown up 7-0, we have a procedure call against the Tri-High Titans, which will move the ball back, and they were at a 2nd and 1 situation, and now it's...
Well, Knightstown might decline this. Now they're going to accept it and walk it off. Carpenter was the ball carrier, and it's just as well that they had the penalty because Kyle Rhodes just rung his bell at the line of scrimmage.
The ball is going to be at about the 35-yard line of the Tri-High Titans after the penalty is marked off. The 2nd and 6 situation here with 6:19 left to play in the second quarter as Clint Thompson brings the Tri-High Titans up. The Knightstown defense poised, set, and ready. Thompson falling back, looking out into the flat. He's hit, and the ball is underthrown. In there, hitting quick was 42, Ben Brooks.
Landon Collins slipped, where he had 6 points written all over that one because the defender had fallen. Collins' feet went out from under him, and Landon Collins would have either scored or advanced the ball way down into Tri territory. Just as well, brings up a 3rd and 6 now for the Titans. Good pressure by Brooks.
6:15 left to play here in this second quarter. Knightstown again up 7-0. And a 3rd and 6 situation facing those Titans as they come up now. And Clint Thompson trying to get his troops set. They're ready to go. And we are in a pass situation out to the flat. And
unbelievable.
Nice pass and a great tackle there by the Knightstown defender out into that flat area. Was
to be close.
Landon Collop. Landon Collop making a great stop on the ball carrier that time.
Knightstown had the play contained, and I think he might have got enough. It's going to be really close for the first down.
Looks like we're going to have an official's timeout. We're going to take a measurement here, but it was really close. I think what happened, Knightstown was looking for not that much of a sideways type pass. It was almost like a lateral.
They had it contained. Johnson and Collop had the ball carrier contained inside, but somehow he put on a quick move and dodged both defenders. And this is going to be very, very close. And whether he gets it or not, you can bet Tri is going to go on a 4th and less than 1.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. Landon Collop, whether he got it or not, made a great stop there because that man was on his way. And there it is. The call is first down, Tri-High. So the Tri-High Titans now have advanced the ball to what looks like to be the 41.5-yard line of Tri-High. And with a 1st and 10 situation facing them with 5:50 left to play in the second quarter, Knightstown up 7-0.
Jim Carmichael's got his hands full with Zach Lumen up front on the line.
That's a lot of guy to stop. Thompson back looking to pass out into the right. Throws very long out there. The ball overthrown to the intended receiver as he could not get his body in a pretzel-type configuration to make that catch. It was a very high pass and overthrown to behind, actually, the intended receiver.
John Hinton was the intended receiver, but once again, he was open.
And Ian Hayes was on the coverage, but really not close enough because if Thompson had been on his passing game like we know he can get on, it would have been a reception.
You see the coaching staff, too. They were getting on Ian Hayes saying you're laying off way too far because it was soft. And if it had been on the money, you're right, that would have been easy reception.
So 5:39 left to play in this second quarter. Handoff to the first man through as he bounces off one Knightstown defender and then is stopped. That's Brent Carpenter on the carry for the Tri-High Titans as he advances the ball to the 46-yard line of Tri-High. Craig Ritchie in on the stop for Knightstown as Craig was playing back that time, but at the snap of the ball came to the line and made the stop on Mr. Carpenter.
3rd and 5. Tri is going to have to try to get something going here. Knightstown's got to rise to the occasion once again.
5:07 left to play here in this second quarter as Thompson starts calling signals, is looking to pass, passes out into the flat area, and the ball is overthrown. Right at the sideline, but it was overthrown. So Thompson not on his game this evening as we know he can be in the passing area.
Knightstown again dodging a bullet there. It's going to bring up a 4th and 5 for Tri-High, so they will obviously putt the football, hopefully, and back to receive will be Ian Hayes along with possibly Craig Ritchie. But Thompson put up a floater, had good pressure from the outside by Ben Brooks, as Brooks has been in the backfield more than he's been on the defensive side of the football tonight.
4:57 left to play in the second quarter. Knightstown up 7-0 as Justin Cox receives the ball, kicks it long, and Ian Hayes right there to make the reception at the 24-yard line. Starts advancing the football, fumbles the football, and it looks like Tri-High will take over on the Knightstown 30-yard line. So Ian Hayes being foot tackled, and I think lost his balance, put his hands down, and the football came out, and Tri-High now with the ball at the Knightstown 30, and 4:46 left to play in this second quarter, is facing a nice chance to maybe get a touchdown here.
That's Knightstown's third fumble in the ball game, so now all three backs have coughed it up, Crawford, Johnson, and Hayes, and that one was on a punt, but nevertheless, that's the third takeaway for Tri tonight.
So, with that, Clint Thompson now bringing the troops up for Tri-High, falls back, looks to pass out into the flat, throws a nice pass out there, and it is caught, but there was a flag down, and I'm not sure what we have here, as a nice pass from Clint Thompson to Brandon Boyd out there in the flat area.
Can you say self-destruct?
Looks like we're probably going to have an interference call.
Well, Ian Hayes giving a lot of ground to the receiver, and Thompson just throwing the floater and letting the receiver run underneath it. He's done that all night, and that time it worked to perfection. And we'll call a hold against Knightstown.
So Knightstown buried deep now into their own territory by this particular play with 4:39 left to play. Not running much off the clock on that particular play, and giving the Tri-High Titans plenty of time for the possibility of a touchdown, as naturally Tri-High declines the penalty, and the ball is at about the 7-yard line, 8-yard line of the Knightstown Panthers. So this defensive unit for Knightstown going to have to dig in big here, as Tri-High threatening, knocking on the door with Clint Thompson and his throwing arm starting to go into action here against these Knightstown Panthers. Thompson getting his troop set, two backs, handing off to the wide right back as he is hit at the line. The ball carrier, Brent Carpenter, that time, as he is brought down at the line of scrimmage. Looks like Ben Brooks in on the action for Knightstown on the defense. So Carpenter unable to advance the football, but we still have 2nd and 5 with 4:17 in the clock counting.
Going back over the years, Knightstown and Tri has been locked in some good battles. The last really close game was 1994 when Knightstown won 26-24. And this one looks like this is going to be a dandy.
The Tri-High Titans now on the snap of the football, handing off what looked like a handoff but was a fake, and Thompson throws into the end zone to one of the tallest people out there on the field at the moment, Phelps, for the Tri-High touchdown. So, with 3:57 on the clock, the Tri-High Titans get on the scoreboard, and the score at this 3:57 mark is 7-6. But the Tri-High Titans now bringing in their extra point unit. Let's see what they're going to go for here, if it's going to be the 1 or 2. But nevertheless, the Tri-High Titans on the scoreboard with a nice passing game coming from Clint Thompson. John Hinton getting ready to kick the extra point. It is up, and it is good. So, with 3:57 left to play in the second quarter, the score is tied 7-7 here at Knightstown High School.
Let's take a quick 1-minute timeout. You're listening to an exciting Panther football game right here on Young Country 90.7 FM.
Once upon a time, there was a guy
Hello there.
who wanted a way to...
Downfield, there goes the kick with 3:57 left to play, and taking that ball over, Craig Ritchie for the Knightstown Panthers. Breaks quite a few tacklers and advances that ball out to the 39-yard line of Knightstown. So, Craig Ritchie getting back into this game and getting into it quick, as Knightstown is tied with these Tri-High Titans 7-7 here with 3:51 left to play in the second quarter.
25-yard kickoff return by Craig Ritchie, and he was about one blocker from springing that puppy.
Yep, they got him right on the shoe, or he'd have been gone, I can guarantee you that. Eric Scheinman now fired up, talking to his backs and his wide receivers as we have Richie and Hayes coming wide right, and in the backfield we have Drew Crawford and Ryan Johnson. Johnson going into motion to the right, pitch out to Drew Crawford as he steps left, steps back right, is carrying the football and picks up the first down for the Knightstown Panthers on a 12-yard carry that time, and advancing that ball out to about the 50-yard line. And a great run by Drew Crawford as he that time was slashing and cutting up this right side to pick up that 12 yards.
It looked like he mishandled the football just a little bit on the quick pitch. Kind of fumbled it a little bit, but got control of it, got back into the ball game. Craig Ritchie comes out of the ball game. Ben Brooks goes back in. And I don't know if Craig got some equipment problem or might have got popped a little bit, but Brooks will line up now at wide receiver.
3:24 left to play in this second quarter as Eric Scheinman starts to advance these troops at the 50-yard line. The snap is made. The handoff to the first man through that time, Drew Crawford, who slips and falls down, but not before picking up 4 yards. So Drew Crawford coming over the right side. His feet got just a little ahead of his body there and went down on that particular play. Brian Clemens in on the stop for the Tri-High Titans.
You know, Tri looks sharp. They look very sharp. You never know that they got thumped last week by Shenandoah. They look good.
No, they really do. And, you know, also, I think a lot of this Knightstown, like the fumbles and everything like that so far, is the excitement of playing Tri. We have not seen Knightstown play like this year, and a lot of this action is not due to being hit. It's just happening. Scheinman takes the snap, hands off to the first man through, Drew Crawford, who barrels ahead and takes 3 to 4 of the Tri-High Titans with him. And he picks up another first down and advances the ball for 11 yards to the 34.5-yard line of the Tri-High Titans.
So that is good heads-down running by Drew Crawford. He put the head down and took off and carried 4 and 5 defenders with him all the way down to the Tri-High 34.5. First down, Panthers.
Drew Crawford coming to play the game now and get these Knightstown Panthers fired up as he's made 2 excellent carries there. Eric Scheinman calling the signals now on a long count this time as the snap is made. The handoff again to Drew Crawford as he tries to barrel ahead, and Drew again picks up 2-3 yards possibly and runs into the entire line this time of the Tri-High Titans. Seth Johnson in first to make the hit on Drew Crawford, and Drew has an equipment problem now and is getting that headgear fixed back up as Scheinman has been over to talk to Coach Willard and see what type of a strategy he wants to go into.
You know what really upsets me?
What upsets you?
That middle light over there. That pole needs to be straightened up.
Oh, Mr. Clean. I've never seen anything like this guy in my life. The ball is at the 32-yard line of the Tri-High Titans, and I'll make sure that light's fixed for the next home game. Scheinman calling the signals now as Brian Johnson goes into motion to the right. A pitch out to the left to Drew Crawford, who makes a pass on the football, and it is a reception, and I'm sure we're going to have another pass interference call.
No doubt. The defender grabbed Craig Ritchie after just before he grabbed the ball. So Drew Crawford throws one up for grabs. Ritchie grabs it again, and an obvious pass interference against Tri.
Drew Crawford going to sell popcorn and Cokes, I'm sure, here at halftime after 2 great runs. Now throws the ball down to Craig Ritchie, and the Tri-High Titans unable to keep their hands off of our receivers, and it's really costing them in the penalty department on pass reception.
Well, they will decline the penalty, so that one's good for 30 yards from Crawford to Ritchie. And Knightstown's knocking at the door as the ball sits squarely on the 5-yard line.
So with 1:27 left to play here, and a 1st and 5 situation for the Knightstown Panthers with the score 7-7 in this second quarter of action at Knightstown High School. Eric Scheinman calling the signals now. The Knightstown team poised and set as they always are. The handoff goes to Drew Crawford, the first man through, and he is eaten up, maybe a pickup of 2 yards that time for Drew Crawford as he goes over right side and is eaten alive by about 3 of those big Titans.
And they were led by number 11, Brian Clemens, and Clemens has been all over the football field. So Knightstown's down at about the 1.5. Looks like Crawford might have picked up closer to 3.5 yards that time.
Well, the clock is ticking away, folks. We have 49 seconds left to play here in this second quarter of action as Knightstown knocking on the door for another touchdown. As Scheinman goes set, the team bunched in close. The handoff is made, and we have another touchdown here at the Knightstown Panther Field this evening. So, once again, the Knightstown Panthers able to advance that ball in, and looks like now they may be waving it off or something. I don't know what the situation is here, but they first called the touchdown, and so it looks like they've backed him up just a little bit as the Knightstown team now calls timeout. That ball
they're going to say that he was down. He didn't get into the end zone. Ball sits on about the 6-inch line.
So the Knightstown Panthers trying to advance this ball in. Take a timeout here with 33 seconds to go, and the score is 7-7 in the second quarter.
Well, it looked like he got over. They must have said that his knee hit before he crossed the goal line, but he got over, I thought.
It looked to me like he was in there, but and initially they did call touchdown. One or two of the officials did call the touchdown, but they waved it off.
Yep. Well, Knightstown's going to punch this one in and try to get to the halftime with a slim lead.
33 seconds left to play here in this second quarter, and a very, very tough football game, as they always turn out to be, it seems like, for the most part, against the Tri-High Titans and the Knightstown Panthers.
Knightstown's got one more timeout. That's their second that they've used, so they've got one more to burn.
So Knightstown coming up and getting set now as they have decided what play they're going to run. Shyman looking around, waiting for the call for the officials to start the play. Everybody was set, but the official hadn't called for the time to start. As Shyman now calling the signals, they make the handoff, and it looks like this time we get a touchdown. So, going over the right side that time for the Knightstown Panthers, number 32, Drew Crawford, taking it in.
Well, it's Knightstown's second score, the first coming on a long pass to Craig Ritchie as he dove, and Craig Ritchie had a great effort to get into the end zone, as did to Drew Crawford that time. So Knightstown's going to burn another timeout, and that's going to be, I think, their third.
That should be the last one. That's it.
That's three.
So Knightstown calling timeout here with 30 seconds left to play and a 13-7 lead over these Tri-High Titans.
Well, hopefully this is just the beginning, because Knightstown's starting to open things up a little bit, and it doesn't look like Tri can stop the running or the passing of Knightstown, and penalties have been Tri's worst enemy here in the first half.
Well, you know, I may have to eat these words, but I'll tell you, I know these Knightstown kids are in shape, and I really think that if they keep playing with the intensity that they're capable of doing, that they will prevail here because of the great shape that they're in.
You're probably right.
Getting ready now for the extra point attempt. It looks like Josh Plank is back, ready to kick. Eric Shyman's going to be calling the signals and holding. 30 seconds left to play in this second quarter. Score 13-7 here at the Knightstown High School field. There's the kick. It's really lofted up high, and it is good. So, Josh Plank making a nice kick there and getting that extra point.
That was a moon rocket, had just enough to get over the crossbar. Knightstown jumps out to a 14-7 lead. Now what they've got to do is be careful on the kickoff that they don't let Tri pop one.
What they've really got to be careful of right here is not being careful of, but not letting their defense get a little ragged here with only 30 seconds left to play, because to be quite honest, this is the most pressure I think that they felt all year, and that could start to wear on you just a little bit, both physically and mentally. So they've got to keep up and keep high on this so that they can not let Tri-High score with only 30 seconds left to play here in this second quarter.
7-point advantage is not a lot against Tri-High. As we know, they are very, very potent, and they can score quickly. But Knightstown, again, needs to get this one deep, as Kyle needs to get a good foot into this one and keep them deep into their own territory with the clock down at 30 seconds, not to give them a lot of time to advance this ball into Knightstown territory.
Adam Bonowitz checking the line there, making sure he's got enough players on the field as Kyle Rhodes gets back, gets set to kick, has got the okay from the official. Here comes Kyle. There goes the football, squibbing down the right sideline. It is picked up in the backfield by the Tri-High Titans, and they are stopped at the 24.5-yard line of Tri-High. John Hinton, the ball carrier, out there for Tri-High, and he is knocked down by Craig Ritchie.
I like to say wally bang. Craig Ritchie went head first and took him right down, and that's what Knightstown needed down at the 25 with 23 seconds left. And obviously, Tri is going to come out passing the football. And after we've seen what Thompson is capable of, we know he can get the ball to the receivers. Started out a little shaky, but starting to settle down and finding those receivers on those floaters.
So the Knightstown defense now going into action as Clint Thompson brings that Tri-High unit up and gets set behind that huge center there as he hands off to the first man through, breaks one tackle, but Kyle Rhodes in on the stop, and the ball carrier is Wes Kaufman out there for Tri-High, but big Kyle Rhodes going over and catching him and just bringing him down to the ground.
Poor Clint Thompson, you can hardly see him, as you said, behind the center, Zach Lumen. Lumen 6'3", 367, and that's going to be the half. So Knightstown will take a 14-7 advantage to the locker room. Both teams will talk about it, lace them back up, and we will come back out in the second half and see if Knightstown can hold this 7-point advantage or possibly increase it, as you have witnessed a very, very good first half of football from Knightstown High School. Let's take a 3-minute timeout. We'll tally some unofficial stats up, come back, and who knows what all might be in the press box. You're listening to Knightstown Panther football on Young Country 90.7 FM. High school where the Panthers hold a 7-point advantage, 14-7, as Lee's trying to eat them off here. I wish you could see this. Great crowd on hand for homecoming 1997. Give you some unofficial halftime stats. Drew Crawford leads the way for the Knightstown Panthers. Unofficially, 8 rushes for 56 yards in the first half of play. Ryan Johnson, a very quiet night, and much to the defense's credit for Tri, as Johnson has been stuffed 6 times for 14 yards. Ian Hayes, on the other hand, had a little bit better luck than Ryan Johnson, 3 rushes for 24 yards. In the passing department, Eric Scheinman again having a very good night, 4 or 5 for 54 yards. Drew Crawford has thrown the ball on a halfback option once for a 30-yard score. And, of course, actually it wasn't a score, but Craig Ritchie got down and scored on the ensuing play. So Crawford getting into the passing scheme of things tonight, 1 for 30. Craig Ritchie, on the other hand, has caught 4 passes for 72 yards in the first half of action, and Ian Hayes has 1 for 12.
Well, you know, the pass play really started to glow here in the past couple of weeks, and Craig Ritchie and Eric Scheinman are really showing now what they can do out there on those pass plays.
Things looked a little shaky as the game got underway as Knightstown coughed the football up 3 different times and finally settled down to score 14 points. The first coming on a 20-yard pass from Scheinman to Ritchie at 6:32 to play in the second quarter. Josh Plank adds a point after attempt, makes it 7-0. Then Drew Crawford scores on a 1-yard run with 30 seconds left. Point after again is good by Plank. And Thompson on the other side of the football for Tri-High throws a nice 9-yard floater again to the biggest man on the team as far as height-wise, to Dusty Phelps at 3:57 to play for Tri's only score. Halftime score, 14-7, Panthers lead.
Well, you know, right up here right now with us, guess who we have? I have Tasha Whitfield.
Do they come bearing food?
Oh, well, no, but nobody ever does up here.
What are you laughing at, girls? I'm hungry. Come on.
Tasha's a sophomore, and she's one of the Knightstown cheerleaders, the very capable Knightstown cheerleaders that we have this year. And Tasha, tell me a little bit about what you guys went through to get ready for this big homecoming event.
Well, this whole week we've had Spirit Week and we've had dress-up days. Monday was Bum Day, Hobo Day, just Slob Day, pretty much. Tuesday.
Why did you look at Mike when you said that? Never mind. Go
No,
ahead.
mine's coming up. Go ahead. What was yesterday?
Yesterday was Crazy Red and Black Day.
And was it a Nerd Day?
Huh?
Was it Nerd Day?
Yesterday was Nerd Day.
Okay.
Today was Crazy Red and Black Day.
You guys know a young man named Forey? Forey? Forey came out and I saw him, and I swear to you, it looked like he was straight off of Revenge of the Nerds. It was classic. It was excellent. What about the spirit, though? You talked about the spirit. I heard from a couple of girls that are in the class that they haven't seen anything in a long time with the spirit that Knightstown has had the last couple days, or in fact, the whole week.
Yeah, the spirit has been really great this week. All the guys on the football team have dressed up this week and really got into our spirit. We had a parade Thursday night, and we went through Knightstown. It was really great. We had a lot of response. So the spirit has been really great this year.
The bonfire and everything you had the other night was really great also.
That was big.
Well, you know what really sells a lot of this, I think, is the things that you guys go through as far as cheerleaders, as far as firing people up and everything. And I think combined, the entire school spirit has really risen to the occasion and has gotten a lot better.
Did you guys have any hot dogs at the bonfire?
Yeah, there was a lot of food there.
All right.
Well, Tasha, we want to thank you for coming up and talking with us, and we'll let you go, and we're going to talk for a few minutes here to Aaron Plank, okay? See you later. Okay, getting ready here to get the other sophomore all hooked
You know,
up
I didn't
and
realize you were
ready
that
to
coordinated
go.
that you could talk and do something at
Well,
the
I
same
really
time.
can.
I'm
Yes, I
impressed.
can. And
Man of
right,
your age, that's good.
right now we've got Aaron Plank up. Aaron, don't laugh. I'm just an old man. I can't help it. Aaron, how's things been going this week for you?
Oh, it's been real fun. I've enjoyed it a lot, and football players have been real spirited along with the whole school.
Well, you know, I think one reason why those football players have to be spirited, when they came over and you guys were in competition this year, you know, and everything, I think those guys got fired up and they saw how important you are to them. Don't you think so?
Yeah, I think when we competed, when they all came, it showed how much spirit they had, and now they're really showing it in school.
What about this crowd? I'm sorry. What about this crowd? I mean, the crowd has even been into the game pretty much the entire night. This is something that Lee and I were talking. We can't remember this large a crowd in many, many years.
Our crowd's awesome.
You know, I found out one thing with you guys also this year. We watched the cheerleaders quite a bit because you're right in front of us when you do the yells. And you know, you guys you know what's going on out there this year. So many times you see cheerleaders, they'll go defense and the offense has got the ball, you know, and stuff like that, and they're really messed up and don't know what they're doing. But you guys are real sharp on what you're doing, and you planning on coming out again next year?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, you've had a good time, right?
Yeah, it's been real fun.
Well, Aaron,
It's been a great year.
Yeah.
Very good.
We want to thank you for coming up and talking to us, and we'll probably see you again this basketball season, okay?
All right, but hold on. I want to wish Joe Hildebrand a happy 18th birthday.
Who was that?
Joe Hildebrand. Today's her birthday.
How old?
18.
Where is the birthday girl?
She was just down on the field. She was a candidate.
You know, Mike York has socks that are 18 years old. Well, thanks very much for coming up and talking with us.
Thanks.
Thanks a
Bye.
lot. Halftime score once again, 14-7, Knightstown on top of Tri-High, and this has been everything that we had anticipated. Great ball game. Tri has been very, very stingy on the ground as Knightstown not able to move the football in the first quarter, then starting to open things up just a little bit more in the second quarter of action. And it looks like Tri might be wearing down just a little bit as Knightstown on the last drive went to the air a couple of times, ran the ball, and Drew Crawford having very good success. As we said, 8 rushes for 56 yards, and Ryan Johnson 6 for 14, and Ian Hayes 3 for 24. Eric Scheinman ran the ball one time, not by design, but by necessity, and he was sacked for a 10-yard loss. So obviously Scheinman is not the one that they want to run the football, and they need to protect him. And so far, Knightstown has done a pretty good job of protecting Scheinman back in the pocket, although he has taken a couple of shots, but he's managed to get the football off and completed a couple of passes even under intense pressure.
Well, he has, but you know, it's tough to hold off a team the size of Tri-High. I mean, I don't care what kind of shape you're in. When you get that mass coming toward you, it's very hard to hold it off. And they have made some big hits on Knightstown, but again, like you were saying, not until Scheinman had got those passes off.
Well, we'll see if Knightstown continues to go to the air here in the third quarter. So far, they've had pretty good success. Craig Ritchie has been the recipient of most, as he has pulled in 4 passes for 72 yards. And Drew Crawford has put the ball up once, and a good-looking pass from Crawford to Ritchie down the right sideline on the Knightstown side and right in front of this capacity crowd, and it just elated this crowd.
Man, look at them down there at the fence on the east end. They must be 7, 8, 9 deep. I don't know.
I think they're grilling out.
It's a big night here for Knightstown football.
Man. Well, if they're listening in the concession stand, lead like a hot dog. If he won't eat it, I'll eat it for him.
Bring us 6 and 4 Cokes. That should do us.
1 Coke and 2 straws.
That's right.
Well, 4:33 to play. Let's send it back, and we'll take a 3-minute timeout and come back and talk more Knightstown Panther football on Homecoming 1997 right here at the home of Young Country, 90.7 FM, WKPW. Our halftime score from Knightstown, Mike York, along with Lee Stacey, and back at the helm tonight, Dan Ware and Jennifer Munson. And we thank everybody for being here. And if you can't make it out to the game tonight, obviously you've got it tuned in, and hopefully it's on Triax Cable Channel 18. We are Young Country 90.7 FM, the home of the Knightstown Panthers. Well, it's just about 50 seconds away from hopefully the beginning of the third quarter, and Knightstown and Tri probably going to be giving a little bit more time simply because the halftime festivities might have taken a little bit longer than what was anticipated. So they're going to give them a little bit more time, I'm sure, because of the king and queen. We might say that Eric Scheinman was crowned king tonight.
Is that right?
Yes, he was.
Well, I didn't know.
Well, you were talking to the lovely cheerleaders. I was paying attention on the football field. That's my job, and that's what I was doing.
That's true.
I get all the putt jobs. Just bring me along for window dressing. I know.
Well, that's true.
Okay.
Just another pretty face.
So what do you think? First half, how do you think Knightstown has exploited anything? I think in the second quarter we talked about, looked like Tri might have revealed a couple of chinks in the armor, if you will, as Knightstown started to move the football on passes and also on the ground. And Drew Crawford able to carry 4 and 5 and sometimes more Tri-High Titan defenders with him.
I think due to the fact that this is the game that they look forward to playing each year as far as a rivalry situation, I'm sure it's a case of nerves, out there. And I'm just like the fumbles at the beginning of the game. You're trying to break something big. You're trying to turn 2 yards into 5 yards. And I think that Knightstown finally settled down on the offense and got things wired. The defense looked good for the most part the entire first half, with the exception of a couple of long breakers there by Thompson, and he's very capable of breaking a game wide open if he can just get on that passing game.
Well, he's been pressured all night long by Ben Brooks and others into the backfield, but Thompson very, very adept at eluding the defenders, and he has thrown the ball very well tonight. Started out a little bit shaky, but has settled down quite nicely, and he is an excellent, excellent quarterback, and he's got speed. It's not just agility and a good arm. He has got some speed, so he can also turn the football up the field on a broken play, and we've seen Tri run the option a time or two, and you might see it in the third quarter, maybe the fourth. He will turn and fake to the halfback as an option and tuck it up and turn it up himself. And if he does, chances are he's going to pick up good yardage. Knightstown's going to have to be very aware and have good containment, as Thompson is not just a passer.
No, I think he's the type kid, he can really break a game open for you, and you just let down a little bit on that young man, whether it's in the passing game or the running game, and he's going to nail you.
You got to give good credit to Tri-High's defense, too. Their defense has been outstanding tonight, limiting Knightstown to only 14 points. And again, many teams has done this in the first half of action, all 6 that Knightstown has played. And, of course, into the second half, Knightstown has started to explode some of the problems that the other teams have seemed to encounter.
Well, the one thing that you've got to look at, too, there, the Tri-High defense, even though they are the size kids that they are, they're flat able to get out there and move, you know?
Uh-huh. You see who's got cheerleaders up here now, buddy.
Must be nice.
Yeah, well, we are now joined by one of my graduates from last year, Rachel Brown. Rachel, how you doing?
I'm just doing just fine. How you doing,
Well,
Mr.
you're looking good.
Thank you.
I see you have other people up here with you.
I sure do. This is my mom and my grandma.
This is Grandma, and this is your sister.
Yes, that's my sister.
This is your sister. She is horrified that you said that.
She really is my grandma, and she doesn't want to believe it.
Boy, don't think I won't pass that around.
Well, how's things been going for you?
They've been going pretty good.
What you been doing? Been busy, I imagine.
Of course.
Not married yet?
No,
Mom
not
shakes
even close
head no.
to being married.
Not even close. That's good.
We've got a good football game going on here tonight, don't we?
Is this wild? Is this
It
crowd
is.
great?